when we started thinking about working with immersive technology, we didn't even have VeeR Pong in mind. We just wanted to do cool stuff and be able to help our clients thinking outside the box and using gaming technology. And with Oculus Rift coming out to consumers soon, we wanted to find a way we can incorporate that into our solutions. And so Dan and I, during our free time, we have an afternoon time set aside called Hacky Hour, where we just play with different technology. And him and I started exploring, started using Unity 3D, and it started out just creating these primitive shapes and just putting them in a world, and we would put on the headset and just being amazed. We're in this world that we created with these shapes laying around, and we're like, this is so cool. What else can we do with this? And the Oculus didn't have controllers like the Vive did at the time, so we looked into alternative options, and we saw that Leap Motion allowed you to see your hands and interact using your hands inside this virtual world. So now we have this virtual world, we can interact with objects. What do we do next? And that's when the idea of VeeR Pong came along. We wanted to have a simple game that had a small learning curve and easy rules. Nothing easier than throwing a ping pong ball into a cup. And so we had an event coming up called Tech Week, where we had a night set aside where folks were going to come check out the nerdery, and we thought it'd be really cool if we had this virtual reality exhibit. And so we started working feverishly on putting together this game, and we got this virtual world built, but we found that we started hitting a roadblock with actually getting the game to work. And that's when we brought Chris Davis in to help us out with more of the programming side of it.
So when I walked in, they had a scene set up. The cups were on the table, they had balls falling from the ceiling, so you had auto generation going on. But they didn't have a really good way of grabbing the balls and throwing them across the screen into the cups. At that point, they were trying to scoop them up because it didn't have any IK, any friction, any magnetism going on. So my job coming in was to make it so that they could pick up the ball with a pinch motion and then actually throw it into the scene. From there, I started figuring out ways, what's the best way to gamify this so it's not super realistic? The first thing we tried to do was make it really realistic. So that meant like they actually had to use their fingers to grab the ball, but in reality, that doesn't work. It's too much friction going on, or too much bouncing, and the ball will shoot out the screen, or whoever tried throwing it would hit their hand actually throwing the ball. So came up with this method where your hands were physical until you actually did a gesture. When you did the gesture of like the fingers being pinched, the ball would snap to your hand, and then your hand was inactive. You could then pull your hand back, throw, and the ball would shoot off with the actual arc and velocity of your hand. After that, the hand became physical again, and you started interacting with the scene as usual.
The night of the event, our guests were thrilled to experience virtual reality, because for a lot of them it was the first time ever doing it. So we took the chance to turn the exhibit into a user experience engagement that was live. And we discovered a lot that night, including how players will allow physics to behave differently in a virtual space, the importance of spatial audio, and new methods for introducing gestures and interactions. We did learn some limitations, including the hacked together rig that we had with the Leap Motion and the Oculus Rift, was that when players wind up to take a shot, most often their hand would leave the screen, and so players would unintentionally drop the ball. So we learned that there had to be better input mechanisms than just using the hand and relying on pure visibility. So that kind of led into Alex's mutation of the project.